I was standing in the ICU doorway, my daughter's tiny hand barely clinging to life, when my phone rang. "Your niece's birthday party is tonight," my father said, voice sharp. "Don't embarrass us. And we sent you a bill for the party prep, just pay that off." I stared at the tubes and monitors, the steady beep of her heart a fragile rhythm. "Dad," I said, my voice cracking, "my daughter is fighting for her life." "She'll be fine," he replied. I felt the blood drain from my face. "You should come and check on her." Click. They hung up. I didn't even have time to process the rage before they showed up at the hospital. My mother stormed in, perfectly coiffed, her designer shoes echoing through the sterile halls. "That bill wasn't paid. What's the holdup? You know family comes first." I held my ground, refusing to be baited. But when I wouldn't budge, she grabbed the oxygen mask and hurled it across the room. "Well, she's no more now. You can join us." That's when I called my husband. I remember the first time I trusted them. My childhood was stitched with their lessons in etiquette and expectation, their affection a currency I longed to earn. I was young, hopeful, craving approval, believing family meant safety. I poured myself into their world, cooking dinners, celebrating milestones, bending myself into the shape they wanted. But over time, the cracks appeared. A snide comment here, a sharp dismissal there. At first, I blamed myself. Then came the patterns, financial manipulation disguised as advice, emotional blackmail wrapped in family tradition, constant threats that love was conditional. The betrayal didn't hit all at once. It slid into my life like a shadow. The messages arrived in subtle tones. "We expected more from you. You know how disappointing it is when you fail us. Don't embarrass the family." Each one, like a needle, punctured my sense of belonging. And then came the ICU call. That was the undeniable evidence. My parents didn't care. My daughter's life was secondary to a birthday party and a bill. That call crystallized everything. I could have lost control. I could have screamed, thrown punches, broken plates, but I didn't. I calculated, I planned, I restrained. Rage became a tool. I started slow. I documented everything, every insult, every financial demand, every cruel dismissal. Emails, text messages, voice recordings, I made sure nothing could be denied. Next, I fortified my position. Bank accounts were moved, legal advice was discreetly secured. Contacts who knew their patterns were quietly informed. I learned how to turn their own arrogance against them. They had never imagined that their cruelty could backfire. Every action was measured. Every silence was intentional. I let them strut, believing they were untouchable, while I quietly pulled strings. I watched their overconfidence, waiting for the right moment. The ICU confrontation was the climax of years of careful maneuvering. When my parents tried to assert control, to weaponize guilt and intimidation, I didn't flinch. I simply called my husband. He arrived with a calm I had rarely seen in anyone outside myself. The moment they saw him, they froze. His presence was authority incarnate, solid, controlled, unyielding. "What's happening here?" he asked, his tone low, measured. My mother lunged for my daughter again, but he intercepted her. Not with violence, he didn't need to touch her, but with the quiet weight of consequence. The law, the hospital administration, witnesses, everything aligned. Their faces paled. Pride, control, and entitlement crumbled simultaneously. He made one call. One single call that exposed years of manipulation, every lie, every unpaid debt they'd tried to foist on me, every attempt to profit from my child's suffering. They realized in that instant they were utterly powerless. I watched them shrink, watching the same fear I had once felt as a child mirrored back at them. And I felt nothing but a cold, precise satisfaction. The family that had thrived on control was stripped bare. Hours later, I sat by my daughter's bed, her small chest rising and falling. Machines beeped steadily. My phone buzzed with notifications, formal notices, confirmations of legal protections, the first steps in reclaiming autonomy. My husband's hand rested over mine, silent strength. I reflected on what had happened, not with grief, not with bitterness, with clarity. I had preserved life, my daughter's, and delivered justice. I had transformed helplessness into power, rage into strategy. The lesson was brutal, but simple. Love and loyalty are earned, not demanded. Family isn't a weapon, and cruelty, no matter how deeply buried in privilege, always finds a way to unravel. I squeezed my daughter's hand, whispering promises she couldn't yet understand, and in that moment, I finally understood mine. I would protect her. I would fight for her. I would rise above them. And I did.